Hello everybody, how is it going? I am Lucas. Now the XFX3 gets a lot of praise for the amps that it models, even more praise sometimes for the cab that it models, but the pedals that it models sometimes kind of gets overlooked. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to test the Boss SD1 OverDrive, Super OverDrive. I wanted to test that, the analog version of that versus the digital version that is in the XFX3. You can thank my friend Leon Todd over in Australia for convincing me to get one of these, because he did a video on it a while back. I'll link it in the description on the SD1, and it made me kind of want to get one because I haven't really had a whole lot of pedals in my guitar life, which is kind of weird to me, but I haven't had any a lot, so I got one and I wanted to test it versus the one in the XFX. So this, for little groundkeeping rules, what I'm going to do here is the pedal is in front of the XFX, the analog one. The Super OD is the one that it models right here. I'm not going to touch this right here. I'm just doing a purely stock setting of it in the XFX and the analog one. It's not modded or anything else like that. The mix is going to be 100%. I'm going to mess with the levels a little bit going forward. The amp I'm using is a Shiver Clean. The only thing that I did to it is I put the bright switch up and I put a little bit of treble. It comes stock at 5, so I put a little bit of treble in it because it sounded a little muffled for my taste, sorry. And this is the IR I'm using. This is from Catpack 7. This is ML Soundlabs Catpack 7 SM57 Dual 01. And so let's turn the drive off, and this is what the patch sounds like, completely clean. And I'm using a Ernie Ball Music Man Cutlass, purely stock. This is what it sounds like, completely clean, with the pedals bypassed. Now let's see what it sounds like with the drive kicked in. As you can see, I have, I'm going to do the XFX one first. Everything is basically at 5. I'm in drop D, by the way, that's the tuning I'm in. Okay, let's turn this drive off and let's kick on the SD1. One of the main things that I noticed right away with the analog pedal is that the volume output is a little bit lower, a couple dBs. I thought about making that difference up, but I'm just going to leave it like it is. Now we have nothing on. Let's turn this one back. Also on the XFX 2, let's check this out right at the beginning to get it out of the way. So let me turn this off. In the XFX recently, they added a thing in the preamp section. So you can actually use a little boost right here. It's a little bit different as when you use an actual drive. So we have this Super OD. The default volume of it is at 12. So let's hear before. So as you can hear, when you use the input boost right here, it tends, even if you use the Super OD, it tends to mainly do it only as a clean boost per se. Now we're going to look at this and other different sections too, but I just kind of wanted to show you what it sounded like whenever we used it on a clean setting. So let's turn this back on and let's pick up the drive a little bit. Let's put the drive to 8. Let me adjust that over here too before I forget. I'm going to try to keep it as close as I can as possible, just by eyeing, and everything else is going to stay the same. Let's check it out. Let's crank the tone a little bit. Let's crank the tone to 8. It gets a little bit brighter the more you crank the tone from what I have messed with, so let's see. Alright, as you can see, when you turn the analog one up, it doesn't get as bright. Doesn't tend to get as bright as the digital one, because watch, let's check out the digital one. Okay, that is how it sounds with some clean settings and some single coil, using it as a drive. Tried to get it back to back so that way you can hear it. They both actually sounded pretty good to me. It seems that the Axe Effects one you're using as a drive has it's a little bit better than it, just because it kind of gives you a little bit of that volume boost. The analog one is a little bit better because it doesn't get as bright as fast as you heard when we cranked it right now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a little bit of an intermission, a little bit of a pause, and I'm going to switch guitars, and I'm going to check out this drive when we're doing with some high gain guitars. Welcome back. What we're going to be testing out the SD on now is going to be on my Mesa dual rec patch, because the dual rectifier is famous for needing a drive because the bass is insane on this thing. I'm using a Recto 1 Red. These are the settings that I'm using. I'm using my Aristides 070. I hope you like chugs, because you're gonna get some. And I have my Tosin Abasi signature Fishmans. Or the pickups that are in here, you can mainly be playing on the bridge. So this is, I have the Super OD set up right here. This is what it sounds like without the overdrive. As you can hear, it's very, very bassy without it. I have the tone's at 7, the level is at 5. Let's experiment. Let's go, all right, let's turn this off and let's hear with the analog. I like how it tames the low end on it. All right, let's turn this off. Let's go back to, let me get you a back-to-back comparison really quick. So far, I'm liking the analog one a little bit better. Take it in mind, I haven't played with this. This is purely stock, and I typically don't use a Super OD with my dual rec patch. Actually, I have I use a kind of a clone one, excuse me, one I got from Leon, coincidentally enough. So let's crank the tone all the way. Let's go balls to the walls, and let's just crank the tone all the way. This is XFX. I don't know if it's in my head or not, but it sounded like the XFX scooped it a little bit more. It could be in my head. It could just be my listening environment. That's my initial thoughts of bouncing back and forth in between them. Let's mess with some levels now. Let's I really like the analog one in front of it. It sounds goodimus. The XFX one, I like it too. It sounds a little bit more scooped, like I said, but the benefit of having an XFX is you can go in the bottom right here and you can tweak this and you can get this however you want and you can get it to sound absolutely perfect. But with the pedal, you kind of can't do that. Now the next phase of this experiment is we're going to take, before we move into that phase of the experiment, let's go into the, let's try this real quick, into, where was it, the power preamp section. Yes. Let's start with 12, and let's test it out here. It sounds pretty nice. Let's crank it all the way. I think the best way to use it, if you're going to use it in the preamp section, I've done this on a few patches. I think it sounds really good because it'll cut and it tames that low end a little bit, and it kind of tames the high end a little bit. I think using it in the preamp is a little bit better using it on a high gain type of application. That's just from my experiments. If you have a better way to use it, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I would test it versus this, but it's kind of an unfair comparison because I don't exactly know what it's actually modeling per se. I mean, we can put it at 5. Maybe let's try it right there. Let's see. That kind of sounded the same to me anyway. I don't know if it sounded the same to you all out there in internet land. Alright, so now that we have tested that, let's move on to how it works in a lead tone setting. Hello everybody, now like I said before, we're going to be checking out on some lead settings. This is my Soldano Solo Slow 100 lead patch that I have. I already have the drive set up. As Super OD, I have it on 7. Here, as you can see, everything is completely stock once again. Let's see how it sounds. And I'm going to be using my neck pickup. This is with no drive. Alright, let's turn that off. Let's go analog. I got it set around 7-ish. Once again, I'm eyeballing. It's not super scientific, but I'm eyeballing it. This is with it off. On. So that is, sometimes with the analog one, it sounds to me like the analog is giving it a nice good cushy mid boost, which I kind of expected it to do. Now let's test it out. Oh, IR by the way, using a Dr. Bonkers 412 IR for this. Now let's venture us into the preamp and let's try doing like we did before. Let's get the Super OD in there. This is without. It seems if you push this on, it seems it gets kind of a little bit harsh the higher up you go there. Let's compare it to the analog one. I'll just do straight up like I did before, right at 5. This one's kind of hard to compare because, like I said, I don't exactly know what values are being modeled 100% from there. Is that it? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for us here. You know what? Fake wrap up. Got you. Let's, I want to try, let's crank the tone all the way. Let's see what it sounds like with the tone cranked all the way. I'm going to crank it all the way on here too. This is Axe Effect. Oh, nice and bright. This is the analog SD1. No drive. Analog, let's go back to AXFX, no drive. That seemed actually pretty close. It sounded like it sounded the same to me going on there. It's very bright. The AXFX has a little bit more brightness in it, but I think that's just because of how it processes things. AXFX 3 tends to handle the high end a little bit better. I could be wrong on that, but that is what I think. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments down below. Alright everybody, that is going to wrap it up for this analog versus digital little experiment I wanted to do just to see how the drive acts in the AXFX, how it acts in the real world, running the SD1 right in front of the AXFX. So, which one did you like better? Did you like none of them? Did you like the SD? Did you like the AXFX? Let me know in the comments down below. As for me, I'm going to have to be out. Peace.